There is a place where the lost embers go as their light begins to fade. Ember stood still, unable to face what was to come. The wall glistened. The painting showed embers on a sacred journey. The painting showed embers on a sacred journey. Ember felt so afraid and alone that it was a relief to find someone to talk to. Ember froze, almost too frightened to look away, when they noticed a small satchel. The satchel felt heavy. Ember looked inside. The statue shone brightly in the light. There was a symbol on the floor. Ember noticed something wrong. There was a round space where something used to fit. To Ember's delight, the golden statue slid perfectly into place. Ember left, feeling sorry for the stranger now alone in the dark. The stairway opened into a dark forest. Ember could feel fear taking over. They'd washed up alone, somewhere very unfamiliar. Ember felt like they were being watched. The path was blocked. As Ember approached, the flames seemed to call out. With a feeling like falling, the forest had slipped away. Ember felt lost in darkness and ruin. The caged flame stoked new hope in Ember. Hope was almost within reach. The flame spoke and Ember listened. The flame lingered ahead. Was it trying to escape? Or leading the way? The campfire flickered into life. The ghost spoke. Hope has returned to a forlorn. I will warm them until they choose to move on. Ember looked to the ghost for answers. This is a place between places to travel through as your light fades, but none have passed on in a long time. The Forest King now holds us here, and those who linger will turn forlorn. Again that word, forlorn. The forlorn are those who lost their way along the path. If you find them, send them to me and I will guide them. I am just a guide along the way to fan the flame. So many lost embers have I seen, more than I could help. Ember thought of those they loved, those they'd left behind. There are others lost along their journey. Find them and I will guide them. Step backwards, little Ember. Look behind. Upon a small grassy cliff rests a forlorn. The stranger said, "Take care of those you care about the most." The door was sealed shut. Barely visible through the murky water was the shadow of something hiding. And on a small pier with barely a sound, a lonely fisherman sat. The ember was curious. Where did you wake up? I'm headed for the crossroads. It's not far, I think. I've heard there's a nest there, a safe place. The fisherman murmured quietly between sorrowful breaths. The fisherman felt so useless. His former joys were hollow. Sitting out there every day by the pond. Only the dark water to hear him talk. In that darkness, a glimmer flickered. A thought beating like a drum. Thought that went round and round. It all started with a frog. Every day by the pond, a constant reminder. For a brief moment, the fisherman struggled to speak. He looked at Ember, hopeful. The fisherman spoke softly. There's a frog in that. Saw him grow from a tadpole. We were friends of a sort. Spent every day side by side. So much better at fishing than me, that frog is. Catches them before I can bait them. Oh, it makes me feel useless some days. The fisherman sighed. I've wasted so much time feeling like this. The old man looked carefully at the pond, at their rod, at Ember. Well, listen to me here, rambling on and on. It helps, though, telling someone. Thank you, Ember. If you need help catching anything, you just ask. You saw the frog? Did the frog mention? You ask the frog about me, see what they say. Actually, no, just please don't tell the frog how much I talk about them. If you need help catching anything, you just ask. They say catching a fish isn't the point, so I tell myself that. I tell myself that a lot. Poor little worms. But how do you fish without one for me, one for the fishes? Slurp 'em down. I chased old Blue Betty round the best days of my life catching. Had to use myself as bait. Stuck on me head ever since. If you need help catching anything, you just ask. If you need help catching anything, you just ask. If you need help catching anything, you just ask. The stranger was trapped, caught in a maze. It was hard to make sense of this place. trail just kept on closing. The stranger's voice was hoarse. I just need some time, I think, to see things clearly. The stranger's voice was hoarse. I just need some time, I think, to see things clearly. The frog stared at Embo, its belly rumbling. Its eyes were fixed on Ember, but it seemed to... Was this the frog that the fisherman spoke of? Ember could hardly ignore the rumbling from the frog's belly. The frog stared at Ember, its belly rumbling. If you need help catching anything, you just ask. The frog stared at Embo, its belly rumbling. The traveller spoke. You ever had roast frog, friend? I miss a good roast frog. Oh, how they crackle. The stranger had been forgotten. They tried to follow as best they could. No one heard them when they fell behind. The stranger looked at Ember with surprise. Someone came back for me. Thank you. The stranger looked at Ember with surprise. Someone came back for me. Thank you. The traveler said, "You sailed in here. Where's your friend? You need a boat. Go see the builder in the caves. Tell them I'm sorry I never came back." The stranger had blazed their own path. Created their own rock, their own islands. They did not need Ember's kindness. But still, Ember stayed. Building a bridge should it ever be needed. The stranger met Ember's eyes. The two shared a moment of silence. The stranger met Ember's eyes. The two shared a moment of silence. If you need help catching anything, you just ask. The frog stared at Ember, its belly rumbling. Its eyes were fixed on... Was this the frog that the fisherman spoke of? Ember could hardly ignore the rumbling from the frog's belly. The old gate was locked. The crow held its shining trophy tight. The stranger whispered, "Ever feel like you are being watched? I've never felt that. What does it feel like? Is it nice? It sounds nice." The stranger shivered in the cold. They'd moved through such dark places. They lay down and closed their eyes. Warmth was a distant memory, stolen by the passing miles. The stranger blinked at Ember. Is it morning already? How long have I been asleep? The broken net hung ominously around the skeleton's neck. The ghost said, "Speak, and I will listen." The path ahead lies behind that. Know that if you return, you will always be welcome. Little one, your journey, the path to. I will guide others to follow after you clear the way. There are others like me who can help. You will always be welcome here in the forest. The fisherman noticed the broken net Ember was carrying. Let me have a look. See what I can do. With a silk thread, the fisherman, with each knot he tied, a net began to. Here you go. Good as new. The frog stared at Ember, its belly rumbling. Its eyes were fixed. Was this the frog? Ember could hardly ignore the rumbling from the frog's belly. If you need help catching anything, you just ask. Once again, Ember could feel eyes watching. Ember approached the forlorn, but felt it was different. They said, I know what I need to do. What I need, I don't want to be helped. Ember could not help. Not all problems were puzzles to be solved. Do you know where we are? I've been walking forever, lost in the marsh. The two travelers were talking quite... Yeah, I got so lost in the marsh, you know? Why go anywhere else if it's safe here? Yeah, never having to worry again. The birds scare me though. Two travelers were... Yeah, why go anywhere? Yeah, the birds scare me though. The guard joked. Another scrawny Ember from the forest, and with a bag looking all nicely and shiny. Both guards started looking at Ember with a deathly stare. The guard leered. The Forest King would like you, little scruff. Yes, come a little closer. Let us see what's in that bag. We guard the door to the forest. Oh yes, we decide who gets to see the king. The Forest King will... Yes, come this way. A feeling of foreboding overcame Ember. Ember was terrified but tried not to show it. The giant bird spoke. Do not fear. The bird is a friend. Ember wanted to feel safe. Oh, little Ember, birds won't hurt you. Birds will take another under our wing. Stay safe in the nest, you'll never... Ember was still afraid. Is it the night that scares you, little one? See, night is gone. The birds will make the world less frightening. It wasn't only the night that frightened Ember. The bird was disappointed. Stay? Hope is false. Hope hurts little ones in the end. The Forest King spoke. Perhaps they could rest here. It was hard to know what else to say. Clever little Ember. You will stay. Search for hope no more. Now take this feather. Feather means Embo is one of us now. Birds keep little ones safe. Birds should never leave the nest. The guards seem pleased. Clever Scruffs, I can hold that bag for you. Leave them alone, they're one of us now. Yeah, one of us. And we all shares bags and things. The stranger wanted Ember's attention, being careful not to... You should get away from here while you still... You can't trust the birds. I've heard there's another campfire in the marsh. Well, that's where I'm going if I can find a way down. The stranger leaned in. But friend, those birds are really just embers, dressed up. The guard squawked. Stand back, don't come any closer. Nothing down there but sadness and turning forlorn. Go see the Forest King. He'll set you straight. Got your first feather, I see. Best prove yourself. Stand watch here. Promise you won't let anyone pass. Ember didn't like deceiving the birds. But what choice did they have? They couldn't rest in that place forever. They had to keep going. This forlorn was not the same as the others. The forlorn whispered softly, I know what I need. I may never be ready. The future is yours, stranger. But mine is mine. Ember left the forlorn with their thought. The time wasn't right, perhaps would never be. Ember hurried away from the birds. The mist hung close to Ember, hiding them. The Forest King seemed frightened, the birds cruel. Ember would rather risk turning forlorn than become like them. Ahead there would be others to help, and maybe a way to move on. The traveler seemed distressed. I'm sure, but it's been a while since. It's my fault. It looked like a map, but pieces were missing. piece formed a new route. It was the same place as before, but how? An eerie scene, like a moment frozen in time. Gradually, more of the map was revealed. A section of bridge had somehow been ripped from its foundations. It was like the map had been broken on purpose. The mist revealed a secret place. Was it hidden on purpose? The stranger spoke. I said some things and now I'm lost. And it's too late. skeleton looked peaceful. Held tightly in its hand was a red feather. The statue spoke. The instrument you now hold has the power to move the world around you. Another before you took great effort to hide it deep within this riddle. The lanthorn began to glow. Inside was a scrap of journal. The strangers on the water went on without me. Where have I landed? Vines and thorns stretch out to trip me. There was one last place to reach on the map. The Wanderer's Diary. Unfamiliar trees, a path overgrown. Is this a resting place? A place between places? I call out, but mine is the only voice. Ember felt a great relief to be out of the mist. Ember didn't mind getting muddy. The slide was such fun. A sleeping pig. They looked happy. The plant looked like it could take a hand off, and it was in Ember's way. The fruit was giving off a sickly sweet smell. The plant looked, and it was in Ember's way. Ember chuckled. The dangerous plant was no match for a hungry piggy. A hideous odor filled the air. And suddenly, the reason was obvious. Ember came upon another campfire lost in the wilderness. The ghost said, "Speak and I will listen." It looked long cold, but ready to be lit. This is the hollow marsh. Here hope was consumed before it could flourish. You must not lose hope, for you too will. Ember thought of those they loved, those they'd left behind. There are others lost. Find them and I will guide them. The forest, the campfire will light. Find those who are lost. Bring embers to the fire. Down steps to your east, travel the path south, watching a pig grow unhappy, a forlorn lost hope. The skull was disgusting. Perhaps the pig would like it. The pig inhaled a giant snort of air. Wait, what's that delicious smell? Ember shuffled nervously. Other embers fed me treats, but then stopped. You feed me now. Ember found the Wanderer's diary. The oily smell of frogs. They know more than they will say. They watch me watching them. As the pig chewed, a light grew in its belly. Fruity, fresh, but tastes a lot like mud. But what I want is something with more crunch. The pig would eat anything. Ember just needed to find more. And with each thing it ate, the light grew even brighter. Crunchy, embery. Not, but what I want is a flavor with more spark. Perhaps if Ember could satisfy the pig, they might be more helpful. The stranger had come so very far. They felt the air beneath them, the distance ever widening. It was such a long way down. A resolve stirred within the stranger. Just a few more steps. It can't be much further. Through the mist, Ember could feel they were being watched. stranger puzzled over their journey. Some steps felt effortless. Some steps seemed impossible. Again and again they returned to the past. They twisted by unseen. Gratefully, the stranger said, "Friend, thank you. We all help each other along the path." The stranger said excitedly, "I've not heard a lanthorn play in a long time." "Magical sound a lanthorn make. Let me tell you, I plays a good lanthorn." Amber uncovered a journal entry. "Dusk brings the longest shadows. The lanthorn comforts me. Soft melodies from home. The wild things listen, yellow eyes in graying trees." The orchard gate was locked and needed a key. It was worth trying, but it didn't fit in the lock. Hidden away was a scrap of journal. There were memories here, bound in rock. I hear their voices echo in the ancient stone. I find footprints by the cinders, a makeshift camp. The stranger knew they had to move on. The path behind was forever closed. They knew they had no choice, and yet they hesitated. They tried so hard to see it all. To leave now seemed unbearable. The stranger stared past Ember. I'm almost ready. Let me sit a little longer. I will catch up, I promise. Ember found a scrap of journal. I heard them coming. The snap of a twig, a flutter of birds. A figure dashing through the undergrowth. Another like me? It was junk. Maybe the pig would eat some junk. This was the last thing Ember could find to offer. Surprising. A little sparky. But what I wanted, the pig's stomach made an almighty sound. Ember chuckled with relief at the large creature they had been so afraid of. The pig had vanished, but something moved beneath the surface. In a muddy pond, Ember thought the pig looked a lot less The pig shouted joyously. The water fears, join me, morsel! The pig seemed happy, but Ember wasn't getting too close. Why do I consume whatever people put in front of me? I need some true nourishment, but there's none left here. But so much cooler in this muddy pond, I can finally think. Thank you, morsel. Ember thought about the pig. Fed to bursting by others, but without no... Cheerily, the stranger said, "Don't remind me of one of those golems. Stood there, mouth open. I like you." The pot had turned cold. The fire had died. Nothing the cook made felt good enough. Endlessly stirring the same tasteless pot. Couldn't focus, sleepwalking through the days. In the eye of the storm, a fragile flicker. They wanted to serve something perfect. The praise of others was hollow. The cook felt numb and hurt all at once. The cook spoke softly. "Oh, hello, little one. I didn't see you. I must have lost myself for a moment." It's supposed to be my new soup recipe, but it's not ready. It's not done. A wonderful smell. What? You look starving, Pot. Have a little taste. But it's not right yet. It was the most beautiful thing Ember had. I know. It's got no flavor, nothing. Ember wished the cook would believe them. Oh, I'd forgotten how good but it's not ready. There's no need to pretend, just to make the cook stir their soup, looking at Ember, looking at the pot. Soon, maybe. Oh, I used to love this. Just want to be good at it. But it feels like nothing has flavor. I'm stuck. If you know what you want, I can try. But I really need some better ingredients. Something from the orchard could have worked, if it was still standing. Oh. The cook struggled to hold back. Pigs have gotten in me orchard, planted every sapling I did. All me hard work ruined. Take the key and have a look yourself. I can't bear to. See if anything is left, but I promise you, there won't be. A stone golem frozen in the lake, a relic from a forgotten time. Hello there. Have you looked in at me orchard? Is anything left? You ever want to... They always ask for, but then later you see them eating some old shoes. Till we meet again. Hello there. It takes a long... Some of the leaves are poisonous, so that's something. We call them apple. They look a bit... But if you boil them, then they taste... wrong in it. Be well, little one. Back so soon? Thanks for talking. Back so soon? Have you looked in at me orchard? Is anything left? Thanks for talking. Ember watched as the helpful piggy cleared the path. Hidden inside was the wanderer's journal. Another face at last, a catcher of fish resting by a pond. We work together, silk and tar and aching fingers. My boat floats once more, though I almost wish to stay. The stranger couldn't take on more. The time to grow had passed. The strangers stretched their limbs. Perhaps it is not too late after all. Inside was a secret diary entry. Pink, orange, red, brown, leaves gently dancing to the ground. Crunch, crackle, lovely sound, fall into a giant mound. A lost message was inside. The mist is thick. One way blurs into another. Where do I end? Where does the world begin? I cannot see far enough to tell. The orchard gate was locked and needed a key. Ember placed the key in the lock and slowly began to turn it. The cook was right. The pigs had destroyed everything.